5 months, not a single day on land, 5,000 sailors, missiles and drones attacking daily. The USS Eisenhower just completed the most intense combat deployment since World War II, jets launching every 6 hours, defensive systems firing constantly. But down in the belly of this floating fortress, something just as critical was happening. 17,000 meals, every single day. No breaks, no failures. How do you keep an entire city fed when stopping means dying? What the Navy accomplished in the Red Sea wasn't luck. It was precision, dedication, and a system most Americans never see. October 2023. The carrier strike group around the USS Dwight D. Eisenhower receives urgent orders. Iranian-backed militants are attacking commercial ships in the Red Sea. One of the world's most important shipping lanes is under siege. American response must be immediate and relentless. The news shows you fighter jets and missiles. What they don't show is the real backbone, holding it all together. 5,000 people living on a floating city. Over 100 culinary specialists facing a mission they'd never trained for. No port calls for relief. No resupply stops on land. Just 9 months of continuous operations in a war zone. Ancient commanders knew this truth. Armies march on their stomachs. This army doesn't march. It floats through one of the most dangerous waterways on Earth, and it cannot stop moving. Drop a comment below. What would be hardest for you about living on a carrier for 5 months straight? The challenge nobody talks about. Here's what the Eisenhower actually faced. 5 months straight without touching land. Under normal peacetime operations, carriers dock every 30 to 45 days. Sailors get off the ship. They walk on ground that doesn't move. Call home without limits. Eat a meal somewhere other than a crowded mess hall. The Eisenhower crew never got that chance once. Late October 2023 through July 2024. Active combat zone. Fighter jets launched 80 to 140 missions every single day. The air wing flew over 4,000 hours monthly. One squadron alone used 121,000 pounds of bombs and missiles. Every hour, someone was flying into danger or preparing to fight. Sailors worked 12 to 16-hour shifts. Sleep averaged 5 hours when regulations require 7.5. The exhaustion built day after day, week after week, month after month. Through every moment of this grinding deployment, the galleys kept running. No maintenance breaks, no emergencies that stopped food service, never. The numbers that tell the real story. Let's talk about what feeding 5,000 people in combat actually means. 17,300 meals produced daily. Not snacks, full meals. Breakfast before dawn, lunch at midday, dinner in the evening, plus midnight rations for night shift workers. Carriers never sleep. Someone's always monitoring the nuclear reactors. Watching radar screens, maintaining jets, standing guard. The ship runs 24 hours without pause. Here's what 17,000 meals looks like in food. 1,600 pounds of meat cooked every day. That's 3/4 of a ton. When chicken wings hit the menu, they cook 3,500 pounds at once. 350 pounds of lettuce. 160 gallons of milk. And here's the number that shows you everything about exhaustion levels. 20,000 cups of coffee consumed daily. Daily grocery bill runs $45,000 to $65,000 every single day. That's over $1 million monthly just for food. 100 culinary specialists work around the clock in rotating shifts. They're not just cooks, they manage logistics, track inventory across 5 galleys, ensure proper nutrition, and boost morale when it matters most. These men and women serve with the same dedication as the pilots and weapons operators. Their mission is just as critical to combat success. Quick question. Do you think you could manage cooking for 5,000 people daily? Let us know your thoughts. The kitchen infrastructure. 5 separate galleys spread throughout the ship, each one equipped with equipment that makes commercial kitchens look tiny. Cooking pans holding 80 gallons. Mixers handling 60 pounds of dough at once. Grills where one cook manages over 100 pieces of meat simultaneously. Everything operates at massive scale. Making scrambled eggs means processing hundreds at a time. One cook runs the grill, another handles fryers, someone plates food, another manages traffic flow because you can't have 5,000 people eating at once. The menu runs on a 21-day cycle, carefully planned by nutritionists for balance and variety. Navy mandates 2,850 calories daily for men, 2,100 for women. Combat conditions burn calories faster, so proper fuel matters, but there's more to it. Food allergies must be accommodated, religious dietary requirements respected, cultural preferences honored. With 5,000 Americans from every background imaginable, feeding everyone properly becomes an act of inclusion and respect. Our sailors deserve nothing less. Dangerous resupply operations. Now here's where it gets truly remarkable. How do you restock a carrier that can't stop in a combat zone? Underway replenishment. Every 7 to 10 days, a supply ship pulls alongside. Two massive vessels steaming together at 16 knots, connected by cables, just 150 feet separating them. One mistake means catastrophic collision. One miscalculation could sink both ships and kill everyone aboard. In the Red Sea, they conducted these operations while missiles could strike at any moment. The Houthis had already proven they could hit ships. Every resupply carried real risk of attack, while both vessels were connected and unable to defend themselves effectively. Each replenishment brings 400,000 to 1 million pounds of supplies, 600 to 700 pallets transferred ship to ship. The process takes 10 to 15 hours from start to finish. Navy regulations demand carriers maintain 45 days of food reserves minimum. If weather delays resupply, if combat operations interrupt the schedule, if mechanical issues arise, meals continue without pause. Cargo teams track everything with precision. What arrives, what gets used. Expiration dates, storage temperatures. Space is limited even on carriers this size. During one challenging period, Eisenhower missed several scheduled resupplies when the strike group got redirected to counter emerging threats. Careful planning meant sailors never missed a hot meal despite the disruption. That's American military excellence in action. Before we continue with this incredible story, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of viewers watch without subscribing, and it costs you nothing but makes a huge difference in helping us share more stories about what our military really accomplishes. Your support means everything. The morale mission. Food does more than fuel bodies. It fuels fighting spirit. Captain Christopher Hill understood this completely. He started a tradition that became legendary. Every day, he personally handed a chocolate chip cookie to individual sailors throughout the ship. Rank didn't matter. Rate didn't matter. 9 months later, Captain Hill had given out 54,000 cookies. 54,000 moments of personal recognition from the commanding officer. That might sound small until you understand their reality. 12 to 16-hour shifts daily. 5 hours of sleep instead of required 7.5. Missiles targeting your home. No escape, no break for 5 straight months. That cookie meant the world. Our culinary specialists embraced this mission with pride. Taco Tuesday became legendary. Asian cuisine nights, Greek food, holiday meals trying to recreate home. Bakers made cakes for re-enlistments and special occasions when supplies allowed. One specialist put it perfectly. If you take pride in your food, you make it well. You put care into it. Your food reflects who you are. These sailors knew their work directly affected mission success. They took that responsibility seriously. They served their shipmates with the same dedication those shipmates showed in combat. That's the spirit that makes American forces the finest in the world. Here's a thought. What meal from home would you miss most after 5 months at sea? Share in the comments. Innovation under pressure. This deployment forced the Navy to think differently about sailor welfare. For the first time ever, a carrier deployed with full ship-wide Wi-Fi for personal use. Previous deployments had extremely limited internet access. Sailors waited days to send brief emails home. The new system changed everything. Captain Hill used it brilliantly. He posted crew photos so families saw their loved ones safe. He shared updates and achievements while respecting security requirements. When Iranian propaganda falsely claimed the Houthis had hit the Eisenhower, Hill walked through the ship on video. No damage, no casualties, just Americans doing their jobs. Truth crushed lies instantly. For sailors, Wi-Fi meant video calls home between shifts, seeing their children, staying connected to family during the hardest moments. That connection maintained mental health under extreme stress. The ship also tested a micro-market at sea, a 24-hour self-service convenience store. Sailors could grab snacks and essentials anytime. $200,000 in sales over 9 months showed how much this mattered to crew welfare. American military leadership understands that taking care of people enables mission success. You can't ask sailors to give their all if you're not giving your all to support them. Combat success built on logistics. Vice Admiral Brad Cooper called the Red Sea operations the largest U.S. naval conflict since World War II. Think about that statement for a moment. Larger than Korea, larger than Vietnam, larger than the Gulf Wars in terms of sustained naval combat intensity. The Eisenhower Strike Group intercepted and destroyed 174 attacks on Navy vessels. They protected 145 civilian ships from attacks that could have killed merchant mariners and crippled global trade. Not a single American killed, not a single American wounded, no ships damaged despite constant targeting by enemy forces. That success came from superior weapons and training. Absolutely, but it also came from keeping 5,000 people sharp, healthy, and ready for 9 straight months. Well-fed sailors think clearly. They make better decisions in combat. They maintain equipment properly. They stay alert during long watches. They perform at peak levels when lives depend on it. The culinary specialists never fired a weapon or launched an aircraft. Their contribution mattered just as much as any combat role. The Eisenhower earned a Combat Action Ribbon. So did 6 other strike group ships. For many young sailors, these were their first combat decorations. For culinary specialists, it was recognition that feeding warriors is warriors' work. American military power rests on logistics as much as firepower. Our forces understand this. Our enemies learned it the hard way. Lessons for the future. The Naval Institute studied this deployment carefully and identified crucial lessons. Port calls aren't luxuries. They're operational requirements. Extended. Operations succeeded, but pushed crews to their limits. Future planning must include rest periods even during combat operations. Resupply in contested waters needs continued improvement. Better protection protocols. Faster transfer systems. Alternative methods when traditional operations become too risky. Food quality directly impacts retention and performance. Sailors mentioned meals as a major factor affecting morale. Investment in better ingredients and facilities pays real dividends in combat effectiveness. Most importantly, people matter more than equipment. Motivated specialists who take pride in their work make the difference between success and failure. American military leadership takes these lessons seriously. They study what works. They adapt and improve. They never assume past success guarantees future victory. That's why our forces remain the most capable in the world. Final question for you. What surprised you most about carrier operations from what you've learned today? Drop your thoughts below. The lasting legacy. Eisenhower returned to Norfolk in July 2024 after 9 historic months at sea. The crew carried combat experience that will shape Navy operations for decades. Young culinary specialists who mastered feeding thousands under extreme pressure now spread throughout the fleet with invaluable knowledge. Some will teach at the Navy's culinary school. Others will take positions on different carriers. Many will advance to leadership roles shaping food service policy across the entire Navy. Rear Admiral Kavon Hakimzadeh said it clearly. These sailors become the next generation of instructors and trainers. The deployment proved what military commanders have known since ancient times. Logistics wins wars. The most advanced jets and missiles mean nothing if the people operating them are hungry, exhausted, and broken. The USS Eisenhower reminded everyone that navies sail on their stomachs. When American sailors are properly fed and cared for, American naval power becomes unstoppable. These culinary specialists served with the same courage, dedication, and professionalism as every other sailor aboard that ship. They faced the same dangers. They endured the same hardships. They contributed to the same mission success. They represent everything great about American military service. They deserve our respect, our appreciation, and our support. Conclusion. This story is about Americans taking care of Americans in the most challenging conditions imaginable. Culinary specialists who took pride in exhausting work. Officers who understood small gestures make big differences. Thousands of sailors who appreciated their shipmates keeping them ready to fight. Military strength isn't just weapons and technology. It's fundamentally about caring for the people who use those weapons and technology to defend our nation and our values. If this gave you new appreciation for what our sailors accomplish, hit that like button and subscribe for more real stories about American military excellence. Share your thoughts in the comments. We read everyone, and your engagement helps us reach more people who respect our service members. Next time you see carrier operations in the news, remember, behind every mission success, there's a culinary specialist making sure those sailors are ready to defend America.